Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Reeby, and I am the 6th and 7th grade band director here at Riverview. Along with my partner, Mrs. Simak, we are excited to present to you tonight our 6th grade band and choir concert. So these are these students' first public performance since learning band instruments and since starting choir. So we are very excited tonight for you to be here. Thank you for helping your students get to this point and for coming to watch their concert. It is so important that they have a great audience to support them and love them and cheer them on. So thank you for being here. To start off, we're going to show you a little bit of how we started learning a band instrument. So first of all, we had to learn how to make a sound. And the brass players use their mouthpieces to buzz. And then they learned how to make the sound go higher and lower. And then our woodwind instruments started on what we call the mini instruments, or just the mouthpieces. Lovely, isn't it? And then our percussionists had to learn how to keep a steady beat, hold their sticks, and play on the respective instruments. Then the wind instruments in the front, the brass and the woodwinds, had to learn how to tongue their instruments. So what we do when we start the sound is we say 2, 2, 2, 2. Let's have some audience participation. You guys can try that. Ready, go. 2, 2, 2, 2. Very nice. Let's see if we can hear it. Okay. Then we learned how to put our instruments fully together, clean them, how to sit in class with good posture, how to breathe. And we were ready for our first note on the first day of school, everyone together. Now, in all honesty, this group actually had a lot of participation in August, and their note didn't really sound that bad. It was actually pretty good, but I'd like to show what it sounds like at the beginning of band class. All right, so then we finally learned a few notes, how to play rhythm together, and we were able to play our first song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And then we kept moving along, learned how to play longer notes, and you might recognize this one from recorder days. Hot cross buns. Now we're starting to learn a few more notes and get a little more complicated. So for this one, we learned how to play a duet, meaning you have two different parts at the same time. This one happens to be London Bridge, where we have a higher part and then a lower part. So for this one, I'm going to ask our woodwind instruments. Can you please hold up your instruments if you're a woodwind player? Okay, and then the mallet instruments for percussion, xylophone, bells, and marimba. And they're going to play the top line or the higher notes for you, just to demonstrate. Our brass players playing the lower line. If you're a brass player, please hold up your instrument. And our battery percussion, bass drum and snare drum playing along this one. Let's listen to this line. And then we were ready to add it together as a duet. So you should be able to hear the top line in the woodwinds and mallets and the lower line with the brass players and the percussionists. Our next selection is a piece that was actually taken from Mozart, and Mozart wrote this little melody that you recognize as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or the ABC song. Now our next selection kind of fits all the snow and cold that seems to be early this year. We are playing Jingle Bells for you, but actually the band members in high school get to escape that next week with the Disney trip. I'm pretty excited because I get to go chaperone. I'm really excited for that. So as these students grow and play, please take pictures and videos of them now. I went to the high school concert on Monday, and the students did a fabulous job under the direction of Mr. Sobranic, and Mr. Cody Wisman is under our other band director. He teaches 8th grade and then some other classes up at the high school. So together we're able to help these students grow and mature, and it's just amazing to see what they're able to do from now with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star up to the high school playing Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just amazing. So if you want to see where your students are going to be in just a few short years, those concerts are pretty great. Here is our next selection, Jingle Bells. little Beethoven. You will know it as Ode to Joy from the Ninth Symphony. And this was a little bit more challenging for us. You're going to hear different parts within the band. And it was the first time they really had to play independently. So here is Ode to Joy. And before we turn it over to the choir here, we had to have a little fun. So we played a piece called Hard Rock Blues, and in it you're going to hear the percussionists separated out as a drum kit, and then the students had a lot of fun playing some eighth notes and some new notes for Hard Rock Blues. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. The choir is up next. guy back in the booth. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Simek. I'm the choir director here at Riverview. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, so I teach them all. So I just wanted to say hello and thank you so much for being here tonight. Sarah and I do work with really great kids. We really enjoy working with your students, and it is a pleasure to be here tonight with all of you. So tonight, as you've noticed with the band, we're here to showcase our learning that we've been doing since the beginning of the year. We like to think about, singing. We've been thinking about your kids and how cute they are, and the little, hand waves or the candy cane dances they've been doing since elementary school. And when they come up to 6th grade, I take that and I say, cool, but we're not little kids anymore. So we're gonna start singing like musicians. So we become musicians more like. So we work a lot on our singing technique and just what does that look and sound like. So our first song tonight is called the Babylon Canon, which, raise your hand, students, how many of you, this is one of your favorite songs that we've been singing? Yeah, so this is probably one of the first ones we learned, but it's beautiful, and the kids are working really well on it. So when we worked on this, we worked on our blend and our listening skills. So a lot of times when you're thinking about an elementary music concert and you hear that one kid that's really loud, we take that and we say the loud kid needs to stay loud, the rest of you need to match that volume and make it sound pretty. We also talk about how the blend is really important. Like, you can't have a really good smoothie if you have too much banana in it, or you can't have a really good smoothie if you have too much yogurt in it. Well, we put these kinds of things just the same in their voices. You can't have too much of one part, otherwise it doesn't sound very good. So when we worked on this, we really spent a lot of time on that. So we worked on, our goal as a choir is to sound like one person. Even if it's multiple parts, we want you to sound like one person. So this song also worked on diction. Can any students come up to the microphone and tell us what diction means? Yeah.
It's about how you pronounce a word.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. So what that means is when we get to a word, like in this song, they're gonna say wept. So we talk about, you have to make sure you have your T's and your D's and all those kinds of words, otherwise it just sounds like a big job of words and you don't always understand it. And especially as a 6th grader, you don't think about it because you're like, this is how I talk all the time. But we really do work on that. So in this song, we're gonna be singing in a 3-part round. So part 1 is, can you raise your hand in this song? Who normally sings part 1? Okay, who sings the middle part? And then who sings the last part? You'll notice today, I pick a different group. They have to really pay attention to me. I'm not gonna do it in that order, but they sing in 3 different parts. They're gonna sing the same melody, so the same song the whole time, but then we're gonna put it into 3 different parts. So I hope you enjoy the Babylon Canon.
By the waters I'm not as good as Sarah, so I have like my little note cards, I apologize. Okay, so our next song is going to be Musical Love Shall Live, which is also another three-part round. So as you can hear, I think these kids do a really good job. They listen to each other and they do try to blend their voices to make it sound really, I think it sounds beautiful. So again, we worked on our listening, our blend, and we also work on our independent singing. So, which means when you're singing, you can't listen to the person next to you. You have to really know your part and make sure you're listening to it. Because there are some kids who they stand next to somebody that sings a totally different part than them. So they have to be very independent. We're going to continue to work on this throughout the trimester and the rest of the year, but it's something we've really been working on. I hope you enjoy it. So our next piece will be familiar. The band also played it. So this song was one of the first introductions that the students had to reading music. A lot of times these kinds of songs, we'll sing them at the beginning of rehearsals, and we actually, like today in my 8th grade class, we sang Babylon Canon. Because they like it, and we continue to sing it, just working on our blending skills, and then we do it a cappella, and we do all these other things. So these are just the groundwork of what we're doing. So this next piece, To Joy, is we worked on reading. Like, what does that mean? How do I read all this stuff? Like, there's so many lines, and many students, we sit in our lessons and we highlight, okay, part 1 is here, and part 2 is here, and then what do we do when we get them together? So this is another 2-part song. The first time we're gonna sing one melody, then we're gonna sing a counter melody, and then we're gonna put the 2 together. So it is from Beethoven, but like we added a new part to it. So we worked, and then we worked on our proper singing technique. So students, can you show your parents what does a drop jaw look like? Yeah, so we should be able to put 2 fingers in your mouth at any time if you are singing properly, right? So we work on that. We talk about it a lot because here in Wisconsin we like our cheese, and we like to smile all the time, and like, hey, you know, but when we sing, we need a drop jaw so that you can sing really beautiful ah vowels. So we work on that so we don't have this like smiley little kid sounding noise anymore. We also work on raising our eyebrows. It keeps our pitch up. So if they are looking like that, that's why. They also look happier when they do that. So those are frowning faces. They always laugh at me when I say that. I was like, hey, I never not raise my eyebrows when I sing. So we work on that. And then we worked on a skill called using our diaphragm. So what using your diaphragm is this muscle right here, and when we sing, you should push it out. So it becomes stronger, and their sound is supported. So they know what that muscle is, and then I'll say, push out your diaphragm. And we work on that and make sure that we're singing with proper breath support instead of this. Because none of us actually do that. Our breath support comes from here. So we talk about that as a class, because a lot of times kids will be like, take a breath. Again. No, but your breath really comes from right here. So we worked a lot on that. And we work on creating space. So this song has some pretty high notes for them. So we drop our jaws, raise our eyebrows, and then create the space right here for them. The more space you create when you're singing, the more the more it will sound better. So we hope you enjoy To Joy.
Joyful, joyful, sing together, sing of glory, sing of love. Joyful, joyful, sing forever, sing unto the skies above. Melt the clouds of fear and sadness, drive the dark of doubt away. Fill us with eternal gladness, fill us with the light of day. To joy we sing together, of glory and of love. To joy we sing forever, singing to the skies above. Joy, joy, sing joy, drive all doubt away. Fill us with joy and gladness, fill us with the light of day. Joy to joy we sing together, sing of glory and of love. Joy to joy we sing forever, singing to the skies above. Joy, joy, sing joy, drive all doubt away. Fill us with joy and gladness, fill us with the light of day.
Okay, so our next piece is Winter Sleigh Ride. When I started this one, I may be the cause of the winter because I did start this like a month ago. So I apologize. See, that's a joke. Okay, thank you. Believe it or not, I am funny once in a while. Okay, so again, we worked on our singing techniques and we just worked on listening and blending again. And I really did pick this one because I was like, I did think this is a Thanksgiving song. I think of this as Thanksgiving. But, you know, again, I apologize, but it's not.
Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the
Okay, before our final selection, I would like to thank a few people. So firstly, I would like to thank Sarah Reeby for always being my pal, and Cody Wisman for being a good support here in the building. So let's give them a round of applause. I would also like to thank our accompanist, Mrs. Valerie Pott. And then I would like to thank, on behalf of Sarah and I, we would like to thank you all for being here tonight. It's a cold night, and it is really great to see this many people supporting such a great thing that we're doing in the schools here. And again, I mean, like, we have a huge group of students up at the high school that are going to Disney World this year, and it's just really awesome to work in a community where everybody does support us in the music. And I mean, if you came to the musical over the weekend, thank you for that too. The students really enjoy music here, and they really benefit from it. So thank you so much for being a part of that community. So our final song tonight is Shake, Rattle, and Roll. And I truly think this was the most challenging song they had. But I think many of them were like, I think after they're done with it tonight, they're gonna be like, yeah, I got it. Because it really is one of those songs that it kind of kicked our butts at times, but it was also really great. So again, we worked on our reading skills, our independence, and I hope that they show you, but having fun singing, because it is really important, and it is really important. So part of the reason they're still here is because it's fun. So we're going to show you that we're having fun with that. And again, thank you all for being here tonight, and safe travels home.
Get out of that kitchen and rattle those pots and pans. Get out of that kitchen and rattle those pots